This week we're making
Okinawa Shoyu Pork.
This is What's Cooking.
Welcome to another episode of What's Cooking. Join me as I travel the country, learning the tips, tricks, and stories behind the recipes and home cooks that make up the world's #1 food site, Allrecipes.com. This week we're in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Famed for its natural beauty, Colorado Springs is adjacent to both Pikes Peak and the Garden of the Gods, full of amazing rock formations. Colorado Springs is also home to the Air Force Academy, which is where we caught up with this week's All Recipes cook, Lieutenant Colonel Diana Bishop. Who do we have here with you today?
We have here my family. This is my mother from Okinawa, Japan, and my children and our foreign exchange student from Japan. We're really excited. We're going home to make a traditional Okinawan dish.
Well, let's go. I'm hungry. This is What's Cooking. Hey, we're back in Diana's kitchen. Why don't you tell us what we're going to be making today?
Sure, we're going to be making an authentic Okinawan pork dish. So we're going to make a dish that's very popular in many households.
Bacon?
And it's like bacon. It comes from the same cut of meat.
I'm good for bacon, all right.
This is a meal that takes about 2 hours to cook,
Okay.
But we're going to get started with what the meat looks like. This is pork belly, or what we say in Japanese, it's called sanmai niku, or 3-layered meat. It's made out of the same part of the pig that bacon comes from. So you want to go ahead and place the pork in the pot, and then we'll fill it with water so the water covers all of the pork.
I told you to quit calling me here.
Okay, we're going to put it up to high, and then we're going to boil it to a first boil. After it's boiled for probably about 3 minutes, we're going to toss the water out, run clean water into it, and boil it again for about 45 minutes.
Okay. All right, now what?
Okay, so now we need to make the sauce that the pork is going to simmer in. We're going to put into here a half a cup of soy sauce, half a cup of meating brown sugar. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of ginger. And we need to make some fish stock to add to it as well. So the meating and the brown sugar bring a sweetness to it to counter the saltiness of the fish stock and the soy sauce.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
To make the fish stock, start with about 2 cups of water, then add in a small handful of bonita or fish flakes.
So where did this recipe come from?
This recipe came from my family on Okinawa. In fact, I remember cooking this with my grandmother in the kitchen, and of course with my mom, and then with my aunts, and now I'm cooking it in my own home here in America.
Does your daughter cook this with you now too?
Both of my kids cook
Both your
this.
kids are great. This now just goes on the stove?
It goes on the stove, yes.
Okay.
Once the fish flakes have boiled for about 2 minutes, strain them and add a cup of the stock to the sauce.
All right, so it looks like it's boiling.
Right, so we want to boil it the first time. We need to toss this water because we're just really trying to clean the pork. It has that hard skin on it. We want to get the fat and the hard skin residue off of
The gunk.
the gunk.
I
That's
want to
right.
remove the gunk.
So
Okay.
we'll toss this water and then fill it up with clean water and boil it a second time.
Once the pork has been boiled for about 45 minutes, it's time to cut it up.
So now, once I have this on the cutting board, I like to cut the hard skin off of the slices of meat. It's a personal preference. I like it better without the hard skin on top of the meat. Although when we boil it in the sauce, it will get tender enough where you don't have to even cut it with a knife. It will cut through with chopsticks.
Then just cut the meat into bite-sized pieces and add it in with the sauce.
So we're going to bring it to a boil, and then we're going to turn the heat down and simmer it for about 45 minutes, and then we're ready to eat.
45 minutes. I don't know if I can last that long. This looks good.
Yum.
Now, before we eat, remember Diana's mom? She is actually quite the singer back in Japan, and this song that you're hearing now is one of hers. Okay, let's eat.
Now I'm going to give you 5 pieces of meat. The number 4 is a bad luck number, so we want to make sure you have at least 5 pieces.
Usually that's not a problem. I take 10 or 15. So what do we say before we start eating?
Itadakimasu.
Itadakimasu. That's very good.
Good.
I like it.
So this is cooked in the style of the farmer or the common household. There's really 3 different types of cooking on Okinawa. There's the court cooking for kings and queens and samurai back in the old days.
So you didn't cook for me like I'm a king?
This is presented to you like you're a king, a very
Okay.
honored guest in our house. But this is really comfort food that you would find in any Okinawan household.
It's very good. Thank you. Thank you. There we have another kitchen, another cook. Join us again next week for another episode of What's Cooking.
Zampa Amisaki